Masti Venkatesha Iyengar was a renowned figure in Kannada literature. He wrote under the pen name Srinivasa while writing in Kannada. Masti joined the Indian Civil Service and rose through the ranks to become District Commissioner. He was the author of about 120 works in Kannada, as well as a few works in English. He also wrote a number of poems and plays, as well as translated several plays. Masti's collection of short stories, Kelavu Sanna Kathigalu, has been recognized as an outstanding piece of Kannada literature. He won the Sahitya Academy Award for the collection Sanna Kathigalu and the Gyanpith Award for the novel Chikkavira Rajendra. Masti's topics were varied, drawing upon life in pre-independence India. His works offer us a peek into a way of life that is no longer common. The story Ranga's Marriage is Masti's first story. Originally written in Kannada, the story functions as a snapshot of village life in Karnataka in pre-independence India and presents a clash between tradition and modernity. The story is a humorous account of the arranged marriage of Ranga, a city-educated villager who is reluctant to get married at an early age. The story's narrator, however, conspires with the village astrologer to ensure that the young man gets married to a girl from the village. Here is a summary of the story Ranga's Marriage by Masti Venkatesha Iyengar. The story begins in rambling fashion, with the narrator first speaking about the title of the story itself, and then going on to describe the village Hosahalli in which the story is set. The village does not appear on any map, the narrator claims, because the British don't mention it, and blindly following them, neither does any other geographer or cartographer. However, the narrator claims that the village is an important place in the state of Mysore. The narrator then rambles on about the sourness of the mangoes in his village and the leaves of a creeper in the village pond that are big enough to serve as plates. The narrator then begins his tale, which takes place at a time when few people spoke English. He is disdainful of youngsters who use English words while speaking Kannada. Ranga, the accountant's son, was the first person to study outside the village. When he returned, the villagers flocked to his house to meet him. Once they were satisfied that Ranga had not changed, they gradually departed, leaving behind only the narrator. Ranga touched the narrator's feet, and the narrator, noting his traditional manners, blessed him and wished him an early marriage. Later in the afternoon, Ranga came to meet the narrator with a gift of oranges. When the narrator asked Ranga about his plans to get married, Ranga declared that he would not marry till he had found the right girl. He cited the example of an officer who had done so. He further said that getting married to a very young girl would not be ideal. He declared his intention to marry a mature girl, a girl whom he could admire. The narrator was distressed upon hearing this, since he believed that Ranga would make a good husband. He decided to get Ranga married. The narrator considered Ratna, an orphaned 11-year-old girl living with her uncle Rama Rao, as a suitable bride for Ranga. He went to Rama Rao's house and asked that Ratna be sent to his house to collect buttermilk. Ratna came wearing a bright sari and upon the narrator's request sang a song. The narrator sent for Ranga, who arrived as the girl was singing. Ranga was fascinated by her melodious voice. However, on spotting a stranger, Ratna was overcome by shyness and rushed inside. Ranga was curious about the girl, and the narrator, trying to heighten Ranga's interest, claimed that the girl was married. Ranga could not conceal his disappointment at this. The next morning, the narrator visited the village astrologer and tutored him to play a part in the plan. In the afternoon, the narrator took Ranga, who was still disappointed, to the astrologer. Here the narrator, who finally reveals his name, Shyama, and the astrologer very cleverly led Ranga into believing that Ratna was the wife destined for him. As the narrator and Ranga left the astrologer's house and headed back, they passed Rama Rao's house. The narrator went in alone and returned to reveal to Ranga that Ratna was unmarried. Ranga then confessed that he had been thinking about Ratna. That evening, the narrator praised the astrologer for following his instructions and sarcastically remarked how great astrology was. The astrologer retorted that whatever he had foretold was the result of his calculations based on the hints supplied by the narrator. The story then jumps forward a few years, and the narrator reveals that Ranga and Ratna are married. They have a 3-year-old son whom they have named Shyama after the narrator, who is now a very dear friend. The major characters in the story are Shyama, the narrator, Ranga, Ratna, and the astrologer. Click each label to learn more about the characters. Shyama is quite fond of his village. This is clear from the loving manner in which he rambles on about his village. The narrator is good-hearted but interfering. He arranges Ranga's marriage with the help of the astrologer and does not even seem to consult Ranga or Ratna's guardians. The narrator is quite conservative in his outlook. He believes in an early, arranged marriage for youngsters. Also, he gets upset when Ranga says that he does not want to get married soon. Shyama is shrewd insofar as he manages to get Ranga to agree to marry a very young girl. He manipulates Ranga into liking Ratna and even tutors the astrologer about what to say to Ranga. Ranga is the first person from the village to have been educated in a city. However, Ranga does not forget his roots, which is evident from the way he greets the narrator respectfully. Ranga is quite well-mannered. He takes oranges when he goes to meet the narrator. He is also good-natured and is not offended when the villagers come to meet him on his return. Because of his education, Ranga thinks in a modern fashion. He believes the best marriages are between mature people, not when the girl is very young. Ranga comes across as naive as he readily falls in with the narrator's plans and agrees to marry Ratna, conveniently forgetting his previous views on marriage. Ratna is an 11-year-old orphan from a town who comes to live with her uncle. She is quite obedient. She goes to fetch buttermilk from the narrator's place and also sings for him. Ratna is quite talented. She could play the veena and the harmonium and sing well. The astrologer is a willing accomplice in the narrator's plan to get Ranga married. He is unscrupulous and has no qualms about lying to Ranga. Also, after the plan works out, he claims that the stars had already told him about Ratna and refuses to acknowledge Shyama's role. Now, let us examine the story closely. The story is set in a small village in Karnataka in the late 1800s or early 1900s in pre-independence India. The setting of the story allows us to take a peek into the past when traditional perspectives were more predominant. On a broad scale, the theme of the story is the conflict of modern thought with tradition. Modern thought is presented as being in opposition to tradition. The most obvious area of difference is the perspective on marriage. The older generation, represented by the narrator, is in favor of a marriage that is arranged by elders and even supports child marriage as that is the tradition they have been following. The modern reader's perspective on this would be one of shock. The younger, city-educated generation represented by Ranga opposes this, championing marriage between adults with a partner of one's own choice. Ultimately, though, tradition triumphs with Ranga getting married to 11-year-old Ratna. Thus, the narrative supports the traditional over the modern. The impact of the British rule in India is criticized indirectly by the narrator. In fact, modernity is perceived as a product of an educational system imposed by the British. The narrator rues the fact that India is controlled by the British. The Sahibs are ignorant about his village, and thus it does not appear on any map. The narrator also compares educated Indians to a flock of sheep who blindly follow the British. This, according to the narrator, demonstrates the control that the British have over India. Though not a dominant theme, the story also pokes fun at astrology. The astrologer relies more on Shyama's information and coaching than on the stars to predict Ranga's marriage. The story is a first-person narrative. related entirely by Shyama. The narrator also addresses the reader directly several times in the story, making the story more engaging and lively. In addition, this narrative style inadvertently makes us support the perspective of the narrator, especially as the narrator presents himself as a wise and experienced person. The story is laced with humor and sarcasm. For instance, the narrator's description of the villagers departing once they are reassured that Ranga had not changed is rather funny. Similarly, when expressing disdain about the use of English, he sarcastically refers to the language as a priceless commodity. The use of striking similes, as in these lines, also adds to the humor of the story.